all about iPad this week. And Varun, before we actually start talking about this specific device, 2010 may be the year the iPad has come out. But the concept of the tablet is something that companies have been looking at for almost 2 decades now.
Well, see, that's the thing. That's the reason why we're doing a special episode on one device. Because at the end of the day, everybody's tried the tablet till now. What's different? How is it that this is far ahead of what everybody has done? Apple, Palm, and Microsoft with themselves.
PC.
Yeah, precisely. So that's exactly the thing. Why is it so different? And that's exactly what we're going to find.
Right. So while the form factor of the tablet, is pretty old, as you were just telling me, lots of stuff had to come together at the right time to get a device like this, especially the processor. It's fast. Would you say that much?
Well, see, that's the thing. You've only recently started seeing mobile processors which are 1 gigahertz and above class. You've had desktop CPUs like that, but the thing with desktop CPUs is you need such a fat battery below that. So the tablet is not really a viable form factor with desktop CPUs. Everybody who's tried that, they've had battery issues, they've had the problems in terms of how long you can use the device.
Can you just quickly show us something that proves how fast the processor is, which you otherwise wouldn't see in some of the Android tablets or even the Windows
stuff? If you're
stuff?
seeing, the first thing is that this can actually play 720p video off the mark, and it can play for fairly long. I mean, you can easily watch 720p video, and this is 720p.
Right.
This is Jensen Button on BBC.
Yep.
Okay, and
this is the Top Gear show, and of course, the Top Gear magazine comes out in India every month as well.
Precisely.
So this is 720p video, and it's rotating perfectly while playing.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So see, I rotate it, and it still maintains the frame rate. So this requires a whole lot of power. If you try to do something like this, even on a PC, you will fall flat. So it's something which is fairly difficult to do, and this manages to do that perfectly fine. And obviously you've got a lot of other stuff, like this is a roller coaster game. You can actually simulate a roller coaster and at the same time take a ride in that roller coaster. So you see, this is 3D graphics, you're just zooming in, and here you hit play, and you can turn the reorientation side by side. No frame rate drop at all. It is extremely powerful. And this is a high resolution device. It's not a mobile phone resolution 800 by 480 or something like that. This is 1224 by 768. This is like most 15-inch PCs have been till now.
Right.
So it's a very powerful device.
And it's very interesting to note that the guys who usually rip apart these devices when they come into the market, iSupply, you can check out their site at iSupply.com. They did an analysis of all the components that went into the iPad, and also an approximation of how much it would cost. Let's quickly take a look at that.
So we all know that the base 16GB version of the iPad costs about $499 to be exact. But did you know that it takes about half of that to make it? The guys at iSupply.com did all the digging, and here's the breakdown. Display and touchscreen is about $80. Mechanical components, $35.30. Battery costs about $17.50. MPU and memory components, $28.90. WLAN, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi and all those cost about $8.05. User interface components, about $10.20. Power components, $2.40. Your NAND flash costs about $29.50. The box contents, yes, that white box, costs just $7.50. And the entire manufacturing cost is just $10. Which brings the grand total to $229.35. Still want your iPad?
Okay, so while the guys at iSupply kind of think that the display, the really nice display, is the most expensive piece of it, there just do seem to be some questions about the processor. So although Apple has said that it is an ARM-based processor, you think that there's more to it because of the speed?
But there certainly has to be more to it, because if you look at most of the other ARM-based processors, you look at the Snapdragon, which is in the Nexus 1, or for that matter, if you look at the Samsung processors, which are now touching 1 gigahertz, and they're also ARM-based, they're much smaller in terms of silicon space. This is about two-thirds to double the size of what most of those processors are. So there is certainly something there which most people are not able to figure out what exactly it is. And obviously on top of the CPU they stack a whole lot of memory and buffers to make it much faster. So overall there's a lot of difference between what a conventional ARM processor is and what this is.
Right. Before we get into actually discussing every single app or every single feature of the iPad, let's just quickly tell you that this isn't officially available in India. We picked it up in the grey market, and it looks as if the grey market rate for the lowest end one, the 16 gig one, is hovering around 30,000. We got it for 32 a week ago. There's some places where you're even getting it for 28. You can order it online for about 50% more than the direct dollar conversion. Varun, when the iPad officially does come to India, it's probably going to come at some sort of a 30% customs duty price.
Between 25 to 30%. I mean, if you look at the iPod Touch, that's got about a 25% margin on top of what the US price is. So I would expect this to come to India when it finally comes about 28,000 rupees for a 16 GB version and up from there.
But do notice one thing, that if you buy it before it officially launches, you will not be actually able to use any of the apps unless you either have a US iTunes account, which means you have to register with a US credit card, or get somebody in the US to buy iTunes gift cards or gift coupons for you. Those cost anything from $50 denominations upwards.
But you actually have a $10 one as well. That's the one
$10
we
one
use.
as well.
So we use a $10 denomination gift voucher. We registered an iTunes US account by logging into a US server and just registering that, and then we used it, and then we could actually download all the apps and buy whatever apps that we wanted to buy.
So now the safest thing would be to get somebody to either ship you or bring it from the US an iTunes gift card, or even buy it over eBay. There are people who are willing to deliver it.
You can buy it over eBay, and they pretty much scratch the card, send you the code, so you pretty much get a gift card within, let's say, max to max a day. Right. You don't even need to pay 5-6 days.
So remember, if you are going to buy an iPad in India, make sure you can get yourself either a US credit card account for an iTunes account in the US, or an iTunes gift card, because otherwise the App Store, the iPad App Store, does not work with Indian credit cards if you want to buy applications. You won't
be able to download ebooks or anything like that. So absolutely nothing will work. In fact, the ebook application which is there on the box, it's only downloadable once you have a US iTunes Store account.
Right.
Otherwise it doesn't even work.